Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again to focus on so many things that are of importance to us. Now, we'll be focusing on one of the striking statements that came from the Quran. And those of us who are familiar with the Quranic language or Quranic writings, both from the Arabic and other related explanations, we did understand something that is so shocking to us. And that is why we want you to join us to look at it together, because it is important for all of us to understand our faith and the foundation at which we trust our souls upon. Because since every man believes that one day he or she will die, then we equally believe that after our death, our souls will be going somewhere. For those believing in the thereafter in terms of either Jahannama or paradise or heaven or hell, believe that if you are good enough on earth, you will then be accepted into heaven or paradise like the Muslims do believe. And if you are not good, or if you are evil, you did evil act, then you know that you will be accepted into Jahannama or hell like the Christians do believe. So in that kind of tragedy or situation, we will want to actually know, what do we stand for in our thereafter life? Where are we going from here? And this and more is why we always come here with this discussions, this kind of topics that actually gives you some sort of understanding of your journey on earth now and to the thereafter. So you're welcome to the ideal platform where we look into this, and we will want you, if you have not subscribed to this channel, to kindly subscribe, follow, and share your comment. It will be so much interesting to us, because it will give others an opportunity to hear and to see more and understand about their faith in the God or in whatever they believe into, both now and in their thereafter life. And that is our goal and our focus here. So you're welcome once again. Now let's dive into the topic of the day. Today we'll be looking into the verse in the Quran that made some striking statement, and I want us together to analyze it together and then to understand what does the author of that very verse intended us to receive or to understand from that situation that happened, looking at the context, both the pretext and the past text, to understand what is actually the message for us to decode or to receive in that regard. It is no other place other than chapter 33 of the Quran, verse 56. Chapter 33 of the Quran, verse 56. Surah 2, Al-Adab. Al-Adab. That is chapter 33, verse 56 of the Quran. That is what we'll be looking into. Quickly, let's go into it together, and let's read looking at the Arabic grammatical construction, and then looking at the English translation and the transliteration, for us to have a clear glimpse of what the author intended for all of us. Because the Quran is meant for mankind, according to, at least the Quran said that in one of the chapters, and therefore, since it was sent for mankind to see and understand the plans of Allah to mankind, therefore we are encouraged, therefore, to now seek the face of the God who speaks in the Quran, for us to seek for his guidance and to seek for his clearance and to understand his revelation for everyone's salvation. That is what at least the Quran did say, and we have to understand and go into the Quran as it is. Some people did actually question or query me, why would you, who is a non-Muslim, will want to actually bother or want to be talking about the Quran? You are not a Muslim. No, the Quran never said that it's only meant for Muslims. No, the Quran did say that it is for mankind, which I'm one. And since it's meant for mankind, I'm obliged by the Quran to clearly have an understanding one of the verses of the Quran did clearly state that, haven't you pondered upon the Quran? If there were other consideration, chapter 4 verse 82 of the Quran said, haven't you pondered upon the Quran? So the Quran invites everyone to analyze it, to ponder upon it, to meditate on it, to read it through and understand it clearly before you will now see the mighty and marvelous things that Allah had done and had documented them in the Quran. And that is why myself and others who are not Muslims or who are not practicing Muslims at least will be able to go to the Quran and try to understand the Quran, being human beings who they know they will be judged one day by the supernatural being who might have been the one entrusting them with the Quran, and they want them to read the Quran, understand it, and believe in it and act accordingly. And that is what we are looking into today. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, we will be here together. Let's dive into it properly. Chapter 33, verse 56 of the Quran said, and we will read on the screen, you can say it together there. It said, indeed, Allah and his angels showered blessings upon the Prophet, and his angels pray for him. O believers, invokes Allah's blessings upon him and salute him with worthy greetings of peace. That it is not a fair translation of the Quran. It is completely a biased way of translating the Quran, because what we have clearly is in other translations, it clearly said, and I want us to read it together by even asking Google. I don't want you to go far. Let's just ask Google to tell us word for word of chapter 33 verse 56 of the Quran. What did it say for word for word? And before we analyze it together, let's ask Google. The Google translation said, indeed, surely, Allah and his angels sends blessings. The word blessing in Arabic is baraka. Baraka is the word. It means blessing. There is I do not know any other word or synonym of baraka in Arabic other than blessing. So the meaning of baraka, or the baraka, it means blessing. And that is the word that is referred to in Arabic as blessing. But here we found the word yusalluna. It refers to, it is like a definite word that refers to a people in a collective word. It's just like they. So it is a personal, it's a third person plural. So yusalluna refers to Allah and his angels pray. Salah means prayer. Salah in Arabic is prayer, and it's not a normal day-to-day prayer, because we have different types of prayers. In at least the word in Arabic are two different words for prayers. We have the word Salah, which is the 5 daily prayers performed by the Muslim Ummah. So the 5 daily prayers, which is a part of worship or a part of ibadah. Ibadah is a comprehensive word for worship in Islam. It means worshiping Allah, and it includes kalimatu shahada, believing in there is no God but Allah and the Prophet is the messenger, performing the Hajj, or the Hajj, performing fasting, that is the Ramadan, and then performing the daily 5 prayers, and then what again? And then doing the almsgiving and so many other things. This in collection, this completely forms what the word ibadah is all about. So the ibadah includes more of like the 5 pillars of Islam. That is in collection is called ibadah. So part of the ibadah is what they call salah. So salah is the 5 daily prayers which the Muslim Ummah performed on their daily basis life. And then a normal personal prayer is called dua. Dua means normal prayer, like personal prayer, where you can just say, I pray for you, peace be with you, or maybe say, be safe journey, or God will bless you, or the Lord will. These are personal prayers, and they are referred to in Arabic as dua. Dua, not adua. The adua is the Hausa word where they add a before the dua, but the Arabic word is dua. D-U apostrophe then a dua. So that is the personal prayer. But neither the word baraka emerge here, nor the word send it comes here. The word we found here, this is where it is much more important. If you look at it, yusalluna, that is what the Arabic word said. And it literally means that Allah and the angels prayed. They prayed. So it is a direct translation to say that Allah and the angels pray. They pray. The direct meaning is they pray. So they pray. Is it they pray to or for? That's what we want to look onto. So the word Allah is literally means upon. So they pray upon. They pray for. They pray to. It could mean the same thing. The word Allah simply refers to the angels and Allah in conjunction prayed to, or prayed for, or prayed upon the prophet. That is the key word on this verse. Upon the prophet. Al-Nabi, the prophet. Ya ayyuha, O you who, aladini, alahirina, that is those who believed, should also, or believers, should also pray or send blessing. The word, it still appear here. Salu. Send blessing / pray upon, alayhi, upon the prophet. In fact, if you look at it, let me take it as a word of saying that it says, what do you call it? Synonyms. But the word alayhi and the word Allah are two different words. The word Allah simply refers to is describing, is a preposition that simply tell you where the direction is all about. To. Alayhi is upon. So, but the translation, because of the scholars of Islam who have tried so much to remove the word prayers, literal meaning, and then replace it with barakah or other things in order to give it a different meaning for when it refers to Allah, and to give it another different meaning when it refers to human beings or other creatures of Allah. And that is our concern here. And then it continues to say that upon him, that's the prophet, was salimu, and greet or submit with greetings worthy of salutation. So the author here tries so hard to make us understand that, at least in the English translation, that he tried, or he wanted the receivers or the readers of this verse to know that Allah along his angels send blessings upon the prophet, and he urged the followers of Islam to also keep doing the same thing of sending blessings upon the prophet. Now we have so many questions to ask. Let's even assume that the word yusalluna simply refers to sending blessings. Let's take it literal by their own translations, which the scholars have changed the word here, and they put the word yusalluna prayers instead of blessing. They replace the word for blessing with prayers. So let's even take it as that to be the true meaning of the word. Why should Allah ordinarily, being the Almighty, like the Quran repeatedly keeps saying, being the all-powerful, the Almighty, and the most merciful, will want to send blessings or want to bless the prophet, but cannot do it alone, but that will have to do it in a collective form, to organize, to have angels to help him to send the blessing to the prophet. Excuse me. Why should Allah want to do that? Is he incapable of simply blessing? Because the word blessing can only come from a supernatural being. In fact, not just supernatural being, it can only be from God. It is only God that can bless anyone. No one can bless anyone other than God. Any other being, including angels, can only pray to God to bless someone. They cannot themselves say, I bless you. It has no effect because you do not have the authority, they do not have the power, and they cannot bless anyone. The word blessing can only come from God. And the highest that any other creature or any being can do is to pray to the Almighty God, who have the power and the authority to bless someone, to bless. They cannot by themselves do it. But here, we found Allah, along with his angels, together in collaboration, trying to send blessings, or sending blessings to the prophet, or even praying. Let's even keep the word praying. I'm just trying to also, first of all, understand why should Allah send blessings along his angels? Why wouldn't he do it alone? And why would he ask the angels and other human beings who are believers of Islam to keep doing the same thing? And in fact, to tell you that the scholars are mischievous here in trying to translate the meaning, the word, they now bring down, and they didn't use the word sent blessing here. They used the word pray. And it is the same word. The same word for yusalluna. It is the same word for yusalluna here down. Sallu. Sallu. Salah is prayer. Sallu in plural. It ending as a collective way of praying. So Allah, or whoever is the speaker here, try to manipulate us to believe and to understand that the word yusalluna will simply mean blessing, and that is because Allah himself was involved in the act of prayers along with the angels. Therefore, it changes the meaning automatically because it involves Allah. But when it comes to human being, the meaning change even though it's the same word, and there is nothing to indicate the difference in terms of the expression, in terms of differences on the expressional order. That is mischievous. That is completely mischievous for the scholars to try to do that. But the truth is that from the Arabic clear language is the fact that Allah here and the angels prayed to Prophet Muhammad, prayed to Muhammad, and he, Allah, or the speaker here, asked Muslims and the angels who were with him praying for Prophet Muhammad to also keep praying for the prophet. So if Allah pray for Prophet Muhammad, the question is, why should Allah praying for Prophet Muhammad? Which higher authority was Allah calling upon Muhammad to be blessed? Which higher authority was Allah invoking to send blessing to Prophet Muhammad? Because Allah should be the Almighty, who should ordinarily bless Muhammad. Will ordinarily ask you, because like I've said, if Allah is the only one that have the authority to bless Muhammad as per prayer or just bless him, he cannot at the same time ask people to bless Muhammad. He can only ask the other people or people to pray to him so as to keep blessing the prophet. not asking the prophet the people to keep doing exact same thing that he did when blessing Muhammad, because he knows that the people should not have the authority and the power to bless. They cannot bless the prophet. They can only pray for God to bless the prophet. And if they are busy blessing the prophet, then they are simply saying something different, because they know that it has no effect whatsoever, and it cannot take any effect in that regard. And that is it. So for us here to round it up is to establish the fact that look and ask any Muslim cleric who want to be sincere. Let them read and like we read together. Let them go together in review of this discussion, of this class. Look at the Arabic language expression, and in fact, the transliteration. The translation clearly said that Allah and the angels pray for Muhammad, pray to Muhammad. And our problem is the fact that Allah is found praying. If Allah is praying, which that is what the Muslim scholars strive to hide, try to keep away, try to misinterpret, to misconstrue, so that to make you believe that Allah never prayed, but Allah actually prayed here. And if Allah is praying, to who is he praying? And if he did, like we see, he did actually, what and who is actually, and what is actually the subject of worship in Islam? Could Muhammad have been the rightful person that Muslims are actually worshiping? Maybe unknowingly, maybe they don't understand that they're actually referring to, because you can say any word to Allah and the Muslim world will not disturb you too much. But if you dare say any disdainful word to and against the Prophet Muhammad, then you will be sure that your head will likely be beheaded. You will likely be lynched and be killed, because you seems to have defamed the Prophet, or disdain or blaspheme the Prophet. Can even a prophet be blasphemed? If not in Islam, no prophet can be blasphemed. Any other prophet can only be offended. It can only be wronged. You can only wrong a human being, because prophets are all human beings. They cannot be blasphemed. But in Islam, a prophet can be blasphemed. And that makes him a deity, more of a worship object, not just a prophet. If he is just a prophet, like the Quran did claim that he is actually a prophet, like a human being, like any other person, therefore, the word blasphemy should not in any form have any basis to be with him. But we see that frequently, and the Muslim kept claiming that people can blaspheme the prophet, and if they blaspheme, they will be lynched, and people have been killed because they think to have blasphemed the prophet. And that is our problem. So now we have established that the true object of worship in Islam is not actually Allah, because even Allah himself is busy praying to the prophet, and is busy praying upon the prophet, and is asking other people to join him to pray for the prophet. And that is what we just see in that verse. That is our concern, and that the Quran have answered to us why the Muslims are enraged whenever you mention the name of the prophet in any form that appears blasphemous, is because he seems to be, either consciously or unconsciously, be the object of worship in Islam. And that is what is being practiced today. So thank you for joining us. Kindly join us, share this videos, and then comment, as well as by clicking the subscribe button. Is free for you to keep seeing our episode whenever we upload our new videos, for you to be first to reach and to see our videos. Thank you for joining us. Till we meet again. Bye for now.